So this, as you can see, is Camp Grizzly. It is a it's a simple game. Obviously based on the 80s like slasher movie kind of thing, very heavily based on Friday the 13th, as you can tell. Whoever made this map. This, by the way, I have not actually customized this in any way except to change some of the player colors. Because there was no purple, for one thing. But that's like all I did. I didn't do anything else, so this is the way it was. And it's a nice map. It has scripted setup. You can pick from all these people. Generally, so the object of the game is you play as one of these counselors, and we're actually gonna only pick from these counselors on the left, excepting not Jason though, but basically anybody else on the left here, because these are all like the vanilla people.
I can't be the werewolf boy.
You can next turn. You can next game. But this is like the base game.
Not. I'm considering the twins though. But yeah, okay.
And so basically you start out in the middle here, or yeah, the normal setup is you start out in the middle of the campfire. The killer is over here in the tool shed. Everybody takes their turn one at a time before the killer. You have to basically go to cabins and search them. Every time you go to a cabin and you end your turn, you draw a cabin card, and it can be either an item or a weapon that you can use, or it is a thing that happens, and thus you would play it immediately. And then that's your turn. And then everybody takes their turn, and the goal is to get in addition to the cabin cards, there are actually things on the map that you can see. The map, it's not set up right now, but it will be. But there are these little I don't have any to show off, but they're like little squares that have a question mark on them. You want to go there, you want to use your turn instead of drawing a card to turn that over and reveal what it is, and your goal is to get items on these red cards. So you can see the barn, the van, the ranger tower, the boat, they all have 3 items on the cards. And you want to try to get all 3 of the items, and then once you have all 3 items that are on one of the cards, you can then make your way towards that area and try to end the game. But obviously you also are gonna probably want weapons and items to use to defend yourself from Otis, the killer, who has his own turn and will be stalking people. He has his own turn after everybody else is gone, and if he catches up to someone, they have to be able to defend themselves, and if they can't defend themselves, they will take damage. And of course, if someone dies, this counter at the bottom of the board here will go up and will essentially buff Otis. Some things that you can possibly get from the cabin deck, in addition to items, weapons, and various events, include Otis immediately going to your location and trying to attack you. So, like from wherever he is, he can potentially do that. So that's a thing. But otherwise, it's really a pretty easy game. The way movement works, you look at the counselor cards. You can see the on the left, like the column, the regular number, and then you have like the red numbers. That's how much you can move, and if you get injured, the little circle will go down 1, or however many you're injured, and then you can only move that many instead. So like if you're injured, if Sherry is injured once, she can only move 1. If she's near death, I guess she gets a little bit of adrenaline, so she can move 2. But normally she moves 3. And so that's how many you can move. If you look on the board, you'll see the cabins are have square spaces. That is, each square space is a space that you can move. The paths do not count towards your movement. You can generally take the brown paths, so you can move, for instance, from the campfire to this segment on the dining hall for 1 movement. That's just 1 movement. You can go from the dining hall to the kitchen, for me right here, for one movement. The paths don't really count as like a move space. The green paths are different. The green paths are called nature trails. You can potentially use them, but doing so, attempting to use one will cost at least 1 movement, and you actually have to roll a die to see if you're successful or not. And you have more of a chance of nothing happening than for anything good or bad to happen. The good thing happening being that you successfully move. Generally, otherwise, you can't use the green paths. You want to stick to the brown paths. Does that all make sense so far?
Yeah.
So, don't pick Jason, but you can pick any of these guys over here on the left. They're mostly
Jody.
They're mostly vanilla.
Somebody has to be CJ so we can say all you had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
My cousin's name is CJ, although we don't call him CJ. His dad's name is CJ. My cousin is CJ the third.
So why don't you say the meme to him every time you see him?
Because well, number one, his dad is like 60 or 70 years old, so he's not gonna get it. And number two, my cousin goes by Trey and not CJ. Trey because he's the third.
I used to know a guy who was the third. He went by the third.
Will be CJ.
I think his name was Paul.
Why did CJ go to you? I've already broken the game. It's fine.
Does the pick button not work or what?
I wonder if it's hard coded. I wonder if it's hard coded for purple. That's stupid. Just take the stuff. Just take the stuff to your area. It's fine. It doesn't like do anything other than that.
I've taken the button as well.
It's fine. Keep the button.
I don't want the button.
Oops.
It's stuck
Click
to
the
my
button
character.
and then move it. Move where the thing
It's
goes.
stuck
Oh.
to
There.
I did it for you. There you go. I wonder if it's hard coded. Wonder if maybe I shouldn't have changed the colors. I hate it when scripters hard code colors into this because I don't like the colors that people who make these use. They use like white and like teal when there's perfectly valid colors like blue and green and purple and red. Anyway,
My guy purple. My guy red.
why is our counter a condom?
All of the counters are condoms.
This map is nice because it has scripted setup, so I will just start that.
Your face is a condom, bro.
For some reason, it didn't give you.
Your face is a condom.
Here, take 2 survival cards from over here. Just take 2 of them. Craig, just Craig.
Why is Craig broken?
I don't know. Survival cards, you can look and see what they do. They will say if they're single use or not. If you have a survival card that says permanent, you should go ahead and lay it down and play it right now because it is a permanent buff or
What
potentially
if both
debuff.
of them say permanent?
Then you get both.
I'm a virgin and a bad influence.
How does that work?
I don't know.
So obviously, as you can see, your counselors all have your own specials as well. Jody's a loner. He receives +1 to his fight roll if alone. And when crossing paths with a cameo, cameos are like NPCs who may or may not appear sometimes. Jody may roll a 6-sided die, and if he gets 4 to 6, the cameo has no effects. Cameos can have effects if you're with them. Sometimes they can be good. I think most of the time, they're not that great. So what do you got? You're a virgin. You can draw 1 less card when Tempting Fate. Tempting Fate is an event that can happen. I will explain it to you if and when it happens.
Really, you have DID.
You receive +1 to all your rolls during a finale. Obviously, the finale is when we have all of the pieces to an escape plan, and then we enact that plan.
See, my things cancel out each other. The Tempting Fate thing.
Yeah, it does. Go ahead and get rid of one of them and draw again. Just either one.
That's not really true, though.
It only gets rid of the Tempting Fate. The other one has more stuff to it than just Tempting Fate.
Yeah, but it does.
One gets rid of the drawback of the other.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
But no, I don't like this. Just get rid of one of them. You can pick which
All
one.
right, we'll get rid of
Get
bad
rid of one of them
influence.
and draw another
Where
card.
do I put it?
Over here on the right here. Over in the green area over here. Yeah, just draw one more.
All right, this one's not a thing.
So yeah. So there you go. What's Craig's? Craig is playing Sherry. She is an orienteer. Sherry may use nature trails freely. That means you can actually use the green trails and you do not have to roll. You can just use them. Sherry can't be lost. If she starts to return in the woods, she may immediately return to the nature trail of her choosing. There are some times when you will get what they were calling lost in the woods. Basically, you are nowhere. You are not on the board. And on your next turn, you have to roll for where you end up. But obviously, Sherry does not have to do that. Also, Sherry is jumpy. You may move one additional space when you panic. Panicking is if you either cannot fight against Otis, you cannot defend yourself. If you have no weapons, you cannot defend yourself. Or if you lose a fight with Otis, you panic, and this is how many spaces you will move away from Otis when that happens. Me, I'm CJ. I am a coach. Other counselors in your cabin receive +1 to their fight rolls, which is pretty nice. I'm a sprinter. When moving, CJ may discard a survival card to move one more space. That's to help me. Indeed. Follow the damn train. Lost Joke is Jackson. He is detached. During his move phase, Jackson may ditch a camper in his care. Campers are NPC cards that you can kind of get, and they can kind of add to your abilities. These guys, it should be noted, are counselors. We are counselors and not campers. Campers are different. Jackson may ditch a camper in his care, roll 6-sided die. If you get 2 through 6, shuffle the camper back into the cabin deck and draw 1 survival. Or if you get a 1, the camper is killed. That's unfortunate. Crack shot. Jackson received +1 to all his fight rolls when using ranged weapons. We aren't using ranged weapons in this. Ranged weapons is an expansion which we will use next game. But that's fine.
Well, he shouldn't be stuck with that character then.
We'll just say +1 to his fight rolls for all weapons. We'll just do that. It's fine. It's fine, you guys. It's fine. So let's just go from left to right. So Rill, you may move up to 3 spaces, and then when you do, you may draw a card. If you end up on a space with one of these question mark things, you can reveal it instead of drawing a card. If you can't go into a space with one of these locked tokens unless you have the keys. As you can see, the keys are over here. They're not one-time use. If you have them, you have them. Until you give them to someone else or lose them somehow. So there you go.
So you said each square inside of a cabin is 1 move space, right?
Yes. And the actual paths don't count as move spaces. So from here to here, for instance, it's just one move.
All right. So we'll 1, 2, 3.
I wonder what happens in the locked buck cabin.
Oh, also, you must move and then draw a card. You cannot draw a card and then move. You can decide not to move, but that's the order of operations. So you're there.
I wanted to move, so I draw this card.
Draw it into your hand. Draw it into your hand. If it is an item or a weapon, you may immediately use it or equip it. Otherwise, if it's anything else, you must go ahead and play it immediately, and we'll deal with it.
I will play my item that I grabbed.
Right. Timmy Teddy. When Otis strikes your cabin, discard Timmy Teddy to cancel his attacks. Then all counselors in all locations may immediately move 2 spaces. That's pretty nice.
Yep.
And that's your turn.
So that's done.
Craig, you may move up to 3 spaces. And you may also use the green paths freely, because that's your character trait. So basically, we just want to get to these squares in order to get the stuff that we need to get to the the red cards. That's basically the game.
So 1, 2, 3.
Yes, that works.
Clearly, I want to go to the girls' shower.
Well, you are a girl.
So
draw a cabin card. And then, again, if it is an item or a weapon, you may either keep it in your hand or you may use it immediately. If it is anything else, you have to go ahead and put it down and we'll resolve it immediately. Uh-oh. Otis special. Bleed out. Otis stabs you from the shadows and disappears. Remove Otis from the board. Okay, well, Otis is already lurking then. Place this card in front of you. At the end of your turn, roll 4-sided die. If you roll a 1, you receive 1 injury. Discard bleed out when you heal an injury. Well, that's unfortunate.
Well, is that the end of my turn?
Yes, so you have to roll a 4-sided die. You can press one of these buttons to roll one. You got a 3, so you don't get an injury. But you have to keep this. I don't know if this is supposed to happen every single turn. I think it does. I think you have to roll this every single time until you get rid of it. All right, me, I can move 3. What are my things again?
Where's the first aid cabin?
Any of these swears could potentially be a first aid thing. Also, you might receive one as a cabin card or something similar to that. So you just have to kind of hope for the best. I'm gonna go. Oh, also, you can more than one person can be on a single space. By the way, 1, 2. I'll be here with you.
Okay.
3. And then this.
Brill and Merg going down in the beaver cabin.
Yep.
Plot twist. Keep still. Remove Otis from the board. Otis is already removed from the board. Then every counselor in this cabin, so that's me and Rill, choose. Run, receive 1 injury, and move 2 spaces away, or hide, roll a 4-sided die. If we roll a 1 or 2, we sneeze and panic. Or if we roll a 3 or 4, stay hidden and draw 1 survival.
I mean,
I'm gonna
hide.
I'm gonna roll 2.
So should I roll first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Or you roll first?
Doesn't matter. We're both rolling.
Oh, should I? Okay, roll some.
You got a 3, so that means you get to draw 1 survival card into your hand. And I am now also going to roll. Well, fuck. I sneeze and I panic, so I move 2 spaces. Which is not really the worst, to be honest. 1, 2. Unfortunately, I already used my thing to draw this card. So. Fine. Lost joke. It is your turn. So you can move up to 3 spaces right now. Make your thing blue. Oh yeah, it's already blue. Just weird lighting.
Can I go to the tool shed?
Yeah.
What can I do here?
You draw a cabin card, and that's it. The cabins are basically just there for show. Like you generally want to go to where the objective cards are, the question mark cards are. The cabins are generally all for show. They're all like the same. They're just different areas. So again, if it is an item or weapon, you can keep it in your hand, or you can choose to equip it right now.
There's none of those.
And if it's not, then you must go ahead and play it right now. Oh my god. Otis strikes! The first counselor to panic in this fight is disfigured. Disfigured. Anyone crossing past with you is horrified. Discard after healing an injury. Well, Otis is going to strike. So he's no longer lurking. He just went to his where he starts anyway. and he's going to hit you.
The shed.
So, you, unless you have a survival card to help you, you have no weapons to defend yourself with. So Otis is indeed just going to damage you. And you are going to panic. Do you have anything to counteract that?
Yes.
Do you?
Well, I have 2 single-use cards, but
Yes.
I think I can only use one here.
I think you can use either one.
No, one specifically says I have to defeat him in a fight, but it's like the fight started. How did I defeat him?
You need a weapon to fight. Otherwise, you're just going to take the hit. Yeah, neither of these will help you right now. You can only fight back and potentially defeat him if you have a weapon, and you have no weapon.
Well, hold on. This one says I can draw 3 cabin cards on my cabin phase.
Yeah, but this isn't your cabin draw phase.
You've already drawn your card. This was your card. This was your draw card. You drew this card. You've done it.
Oh, I thought it was still my cabin phase.
No, the phases are really simple. It's just a move phase, and then you draw a card, and then that's it. That's your entire turn. You move and then you draw a card, and so the cabin phase is you drawing the card.
Oh. Well, this doesn't help me at all. This is the whole point. I was trying to use this card. I guess not. I guess I'm just disfigured then.
You know what?
Well,
you can use this. You can use this and draw 2 more cards,
maybe he
and then
intended to do that.
yeah, I mean you can use this. It's fine. You can use it, and then choose which one that you want to keep. In this case, maybe Otis isn't here.
Yeah, so potentially he could decide not to encounter this thing.
Yeah.
Take your other card back, though. It's not
Take this
being
back.
used.
Okay, here are my options. I only have one option.
Okay.
Because the other one's worse.
Well, you only pick one to keep, including this one. Because instead of drawing this encounter, you're drawing 3 cards and choosing which one you want to keep.
You're using this card,
The other
these are the 3 cards that I have.
These 3 cards.
These are the 3 cards that I have.
That you drew?
Yeah, these would be the 3 cards that I drew.
Okay.
Otis Strikes is less bad than this one, because this one is Otis Strikes and you're going to get disfigured and thus cause horrified on other people, which is not good. This one is
if you
just
take
you get
Otis
injured.
Strikes, you probably just panic and you get to move, and
yes, without a weapon, you will take
bad might happen to you.
You will take 1 damage and then you will move 2 spaces, and that's it. That's all that happens.
Unless you want to discard a card.
Yeah, but this one you will have to take damage and panic and be disfigured instead of just the damage and the panic.
So you're suggesting that I take Otis Strikes?
Well, decide whether you want to take a damage or discard a card, basically.
Yes.
And
well, the game's just started, and I don't really have any good cards worth discarding.
Well, you do have this 1 card that you could discard, and then not take the damage, and then that's your turn. That's it. You don't get hit. Nothing else happens.
Okay, I guess I'll do that.
It's probably a good idea, because it looks like when you lose life, you also
move slower. Yes.
Move slower.
Well, yeah, you're hurt.
Yeah.
All right then. So these are done. This is discarded. Go ahead and discard that card. Yeah, into there. Oh, wait, no, this one. Yeah, this is start over. Yeah, you're right. And that one's discarded.
Looks like Sherry really sucks if she gets hurt even once.
Yeah, the way the moves are, like for Sherry, she gets hurt once and she's really slow, but then when she's close to death, she goes a little bit faster again, like she has adrenaline. All right, so now it is Otis's turn. And Otis, because he is out here lurking, double check, see what exactly I have to roll. If he's off the board for any reason, he is considered to be lurking. If Otis is lurking at the start of his stalk phase, he will appear next to a random nature trail. Before moving, roll a die 10, and then place Otis on the end of the trail matching your result, and then he will move. So who wants to roll a die 10? So he is going to appear at nature trail number 6, which is technically right here. And now Otis gets to move up to 2 spaces. And if he encounters anyone who has a weapon, he will roll a 4-sided die in order to attack them. Otis moves... Yes? What?
Can we change Otis's color?
Yeah, let's make him...
Black.
Yeah, black.
Yeah.
So Otis always moves toward the nearest person. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Unfortunately, he's gonna move towards Rill.
Well, shit.
Do you have any weapons to use? Well, you have your Timmy Teddy.
Yeah, I might use that if I...
Which you can use.
I have to.
Well, he is going to attack you, so it's either use that or take 1 damage and panic.
Alright, we're using Timmy Teddy.
Okay.
What do?
Discard Timmy Teddy to cancel his attack, which you were going to do. Then all counselors in all locations may immediately move 2 spaces. So put that into the discard, and everybody can move 2 spaces wherever the hell you want, if you want.
I'm getting over here.
Okay. Lost Joke, do you want to move 2 spaces? You have to follow the paths.
I did.
Okay, making sure. 1, 2, so you're here. All right. That's his turn, I believe. That's his entire turn. So I don't think that he is going to do anything else.
He's already killed someone?
This is the way it starts. This is the scenario start. This is like the normal scenario.
Remember, it's like the opening of Friday the 13th. Bobby gets killed at the beginning of the game.
Bobby's gonna get killed. Bobby's gonna die. Okay. Jody. Really, it's your turn.
So if I flip this thing, I can't move.
What do you mean?
That counts as 1 movement point.
Yes,
or you can do it for free at the end of your movement, at the end of your turn.
It doesn't count as a movement point. It's your action. You have to move and then action. You can decide not to move and just do the action, but then you can't move.
Yeah, so if
yes.
I flip it, I can't move.
Yes.
It says here at the cost of 1 movement, you can pick up items, weapons, keys, campers, and reveal pickup objectives.
Oh, it does say that. So actually, yeah, you could reveal that and then
move.
Yeah, it looks like you can.
Okay.
It costs 1 move, so you would be able to do that and then move 2. Because you have 3.
So I flip it?
Yep.
If you don't want to spend a move space to do that, you can do it for free at the end of your turn after everything's over.
You don't have to take it, but I mean, you might as well take it.
This is basically if I take it though, then I can't move, or can I move still? My question is, can I run away? Or can you use a move to grab that and then run away?
You would have to. You would. I could grab it for free at the beginning of my turn before I move.
It says reveal / pickup objectives, so I think you can do it in the same movement space cost.
So the rules that I read are a little bit different from this. The rules that I read, as far as I can tell, you can do, I guess, what they call admin stuff before you move, and then you can do that admin stuff after you draw a card. Admin stuff including picked up already revealed stuff, or equipping weapons and items, or trading with other people.
Yeah, that's all covered under the end turn phase, but there's also under the move phase, you can just spend 1 movement to do that stuff also.
All right, well, I guess we'll just say it's spending 1 movement to do it. So you still have 2 movement left if you want to pick that up, or you can leave it, I guess.
Well, but my point is it says reveal / pickup objectives. So it's like you can do both in 1 movement.
That's true. All right. This is another game where the rules need to be a little bit revised.
So am I grabbing this in the same movement as I flipped it over?
Yes, I think you can go ahead and take it.
Okay. Grab me.
So that's just one movement that you're spent, so you still have 2 movements.
Some rope. And now I'm fucking off. Goodbye.
Bye.
1, 2. Hello.
You realize this is a dead end for you unless you successfully...
I can attempt to successfully roll. I'm farther away from Beaver Man.
You can also pick up the keys if you want and totally cuck Craig, but that's up to you.
I don't think I have enough move to do that, though. Can I?
You can do it.
You don't need to, because at the end of your turn, you can pick up anything that you're...
Yeah.
It's in your square.
Oh.
But you do still have to draw a card. You do still have to draw a card, though. It's the thing that is... Instead of drawing a card would be revealing an objective, not picking stuff up.
That's useful.
From this point forward, you're going to have to pay me if you want my rules lawyering services.
All right.
No more free.
So if I got a weapon, I can play it now?
Yes, you can equip it now or keep it. It's up to you.
I found an axe.
So if everyone wants to come look at this, I'll explain weapons real quick. So at the bottom, you can see that there's 2 hands, which means this is a 2-handed weapon, which means she wouldn't be able to equip any other item that has a hand thing. If the item does not have a hand symbol on the bottom, then it's fine. You can do whatever the hell you want. But if the item has a hand thing, that means it requires a hand to use. Also, when you use this to defend yourself from Otis, you will roll, as you can see, an 8-sided die. And then it has a special. After winning a fight with Otis, you may discard the axe to lower an Otis stat by 1. But I don't want to do that just yet. Otis' stats will increase.
I'm seeing a contradiction in Rill's setup.
Yeah?
Yes.
You're playing Jody, right?
Yes.
The Virgin card implies that you're doing...
I know, it does. Also, the other one that I'd pulled to begin with showed him giving the girl a blunt.
Nice. Alright. Craig, it's your turn. By the way, Rill, you having the keys means you can get in through any locked area, and it's like I said, they're not used up. You have them, and that's it. You can get through any locks.
So if I go through a locked area, does that unlock it for everyone?
Yes, I believe so.
Really?
Okay.
You realize that I can get around much better, so it's...
Alright, fine, I'll give you the keys. Can I just give him the keys?
You can. You can go ahead and trade, I think, for free.
Alright.
I feel like you can trade as long as you're in the same cabin.
It's actually the same space, not the same cabin. There is a difference.
You guys need to read this page that's over here, the counselor turn sequence.
Yeah.
They just need to read it, because it tells them everything they can do during their turn.
It does.
I'm tired to read it.
Well, the gist is, you don't have to read it. The gist is, you're fine. You can trade with him for free, and now he can move. You just have to be in the same space as someone to trade with someone. And it's like basically a free action.
By the way, what was the contradiction with Jody?
Oh, that I'm a virgin, but I'm the one hitting on that girl who looks skeezed out.
Jody's the one doing the fooling around.
Yeah, the virgin card is like, you're this
because
chick.
She don't want nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be this chick in the virgin card, but you're actually playing the other.
But my image is right there. I'm the guy who's skeezing on her.
Yeah.
Craig, take your turn.
Yeah. How about I take my turn when I'm good and ready?
Oh, you take your turn on my face.
We'll unlock all the doors.
Let's see here. Yes, I'll go. Yeah.
Okay. And then draw a card.
It's the cabin card.
Yes, right? Cabin card. Instant camera. Requires 1 hand. Use the instant camera to force Otis to re-roll an attack die. Usable once per fight in your cabin. Nice. But you are going to have to roll this 4. Because you still have this card.
Yeah.
Take an injury. That's not good. Greg is no longer the best person to have the keys.